to the deep dive. Today, we're jumping into something that feels almost like a cheat code. It's a blueprint for building a really high-scale, high-margin tech company.
Right.
And doing it without needing venture capital, without a huge professional network, or even a big team. So if you've ever felt, constrained by a lack of money or connections, this deep dive is definitely for you. We've pulled together sources that paint this really compelling picture. That AI and no-code tools have basically torn down the old barriers to entry. The individual, you, sitting alone at a laptop, can now build what used to take an entire office of specialists. We're going to explore the architecture, the specific tools, and the strategies that make this idea of one-person unicorn something that's, well, pretty plausible by 2028.
Yeah.
The big question we're trying to answer today is pretty fundamental. How do you get from just an idea with no money to actually owning a successful enterprise in this new AI economy?
I think it's so important to ground this in a bit of history because the change we're seeing it's structural. It's not just a small improvement.
It's incremental, yeah.
Exactly. For decades, the path to building a scalable tech company was, it was fixed. You needed that mix of institutional backing, venture capital to hire engineers,
The whole 9 yards.
and a ready-made network to open doors. Those were the gatekeepers. But what's so fascinating now is that AI isn't just a 10% efficiency boost. It's actually replacing the need for labor in core functions, which totally redefines the unit economics of creating a business.
So when you take labor out of the equation,
When you remove that constraint, the individual founder suddenly has the power of an entire department, almost overnight. And that is a structural transformation.
and that completely rewrites the rules of scaling a business. I mean, in the pre-AI world, scaling was linear. More customers meant you had to hire more people. If revenue doubled, your engineering budget, your management overhead, it all had to grow with it. That model is basically obsolete now. AI doesn't just speed things up. It lets one person deliver value that was, previously reserved for massive organizations. And the math behind this is powerful.
It really is.
We saw this metric that really stood out, the compute margin. Solo founders can run these incredibly high-margin businesses because the cost to generate the output is so low. By late 2024, estimates put OpenAI's compute margins at around 70%.
Let's just unpack that 70% figure for a second.
Yep.
It means the actual cost of doing the computation, the AI's work, is tiny compared to the price a customer pays.
Okay.
And that translates directly to the solo founder's bottom line. Their overhead is almost nothing, which lets them keep profit margins that were just impossible before without massive scale. And if we connect this to the actual business model, the real economic advantage here is eliminating what our sources call coordination overhead.
Right, the friction.
All that drag, the time, the money, the energy lost in just human communication, aligning teams, dealing with office politics. If you have no team, you have no overhead.
But wait a minute, if you get rid of that overhead, don't you also create a massive single point of failure risk? I mean, what happens when that solo founder wants to go on vacation or get sick?
That's the key challenge.
Or they hit a wall and they need a skill they just don't have. That's why you hire people.
It's a critical point. The sources suggest that success here really favors the T-shaped professional, someone who is deeply specialized in one key area like, say, product vision, but they also have a broad AI-assisted understanding of everything else, marketing, finance, compliance. The AI doesn't replace their judgment. It just replaces their need to execute all those other functions. And this model really depends on what's being called rational resilience. It's a mindset shift. You start to see uncertainty not as a threat that paralyzes you, but as an opportunity to deploy a new AI tool to solve a problem instantly.
This completely shifts the value of the entrepreneur. Success is no longer about your ability to do a specific task like writing code or making a graphic. AI does that cheaper and faster. Instead, what becomes the premium skill is this idea of decision leadership and, ethical oversight, which means education has to totally pivot. Entrepreneurs need to see AI not as a technical skill to learn, but as a core managerial capability. It's like a new form of labor management.
Exactly.
We saw this example. The Goa Institute of Management is redesigning its whole curriculum. They're moving beyond just teaching Python and SQL and focusing on strategic thinking and storytelling with data. The job isn't doing the work. It's challenging the AI's work.
Absolutely. And the democratization of expertise is the great equalizer. I mean, why would a founder with no capital take on 6 figures of debt for a degree? You just don't need to.
Right.
You can take a just-in-time learning approach. You acquire specialized skills exactly when your business needs them and often for zero cost. I mean, just think about the knowledge that's available right now for free. You've got DeepLearning.ai's AI for everyone, which is perfect for a non-technical founder. MIT offers Becoming an Entrepreneur Online. And for building models with minimal code, there's Fast.ai's Practical Deep Learning. The barrier to knowledge has, for all practical purposes, collapsed.
Okay, so let's get tactical. Let's say you're that person, you've got no capital. How do you go from just an idea to your first customer in, say, 30 days?
Yeah, the playbook.
This is what we're calling the zero capital AI stack. You're basically replacing entire departments with free software. So phase 1, lead generation. This is replacing your sales development team. You have no ad budget. The blueprint points to Apollo.io. It's basically a free sales department in a box. You get access to over 220 million business contacts, and you can set up automated AI-driven email campaigns. The free tier gives you 10,000 email credits a month. That's the leverage of a whole team instantly.
And once you have those leads, you need a place to send them. So phase 2 is your infrastructure, your storefront.
Right.
Shopify, which can be expensive, has a new entry point. It's like $1 a month for the first 3 months. That tiny barrier lets you globalize an idea, and you can use their built-in AI like Shopify Magic for product descriptions or Sidekick as an AI store assistant. Then phase 3, and this is huge, is the content marketing engine. What do you do without a marketing budget? The go-to tool here is OpusClip.
Okay, I've heard of this.
It's your free video editor and viral marketing director. You upload a long video, like a product tutorial, and its AI automatically pulls out the best parts, the clips most likely to go viral. It can generate 20 or 30 clips with captions from one upload. You get 60 minutes free a month. That eliminates the need for a social media team.
And then phase 4 is all about polish, replacing the copywriter, the QA team. You have to sound professional everywhere. A tool like Quillbot acts as your AI writing assistant. It makes sure every email, every landing page is error-free, professional, and clear. You put that stack together, and you've replaced 4 departments, sales, development, marketing, and copy for basically $0. So if the how is solved by these tools, the focus shifts entirely to the what, niche identification.
Right.
And the solo founder has to target problems that fit a specific formula. They need to be 1, expensive when done by a human, 2, repetitive, 3, have clear success metrics, and 4, be something businesses already have a budget for.
And that formula leads to some really viable ideas for 2025. One big one is starting a service manually with AI and then automating it into a microsauce.
For example.
For example, you could start by using, say, Claude Pro to analyze legal contracts for clients. You perfect that process manually, then you build a simple web app that does it automatically. We're also seeing huge demand for things like small business chatbot services, automating lead capture for a local clinic. And resume and LinkedIn optimization is booming. AI can perfectly match a resume to a job description to get past those automated filtering systems. With 81% of entry-level jobs needing new skills, that service is incredibly valuable.
To really see how high the ceiling is on this model, you have to look at the case study from our sources. It's about a solo founder who's scaled an eco-friendly furniture business to $10 million in annual revenue.
With no employees.
With 0 human staff. A $10 million company with no employees. That just changes the definition of what a company is. And it was all done through system orchestration. They used generative 3D modeling for design. Large language models handled all the 247 customer support. And the entire back end, from accounting to compliance, was run by AI software.
And crucially, they completely bypassed logistics. They used drop shipping with AI-optimized route planning. This let the founder expand into 5 countries in just 2 years. It shows the incredible leverage of this model. You aren't limited by time zones or staff. Your systems just scale.
And that brings us to the next phase of scaling. You don't scale by hiring people. You scale by building better systems.
Yeah.
The sources call it multi-agent orchestration.
Right.
The founder's job shifts from being the prep cook who does the work to the chef who supervises a team of AI agents running entire workflows, closing support tickets, reconciling invoices, you name it.
It's a move beyond using one AI for one task. Real enterprise work needs a whole architecture, a supervising agent that coordinates a team of specialized agents.
So one agent pulls data.
Exactly. One agent pulls data, another one checks it for compliance, and a third one summarizes the action item for you. And the amazing thing is, you don't have to be a coding genius to build this anymore. No-code platforms are making it accessible. A tool like Lindy.ai lets you build these AI societies where agents collaborate on tasks.
Wow.
Or GUI.ai lets you create multilingual voice agents you can deploy on WhatsApp. You suddenly have a global 24/7 customer service team that you built in an afternoon.
So we have the tools, we have the architecture. But what about support? If you lack traditional social capital, you might need institutional help. And our sources point to India as this incredible global test bed for the model, driven by its huge young population and super cheap data. We're talking about $2 for 20 or 30 gigs a month, and you see it in the adoption numbers. Daily users for Gemini in India are 5 times higher than in the US. When the tools and the data are that accessible, the potential for this just explodes.
And that support extends to actual government policy. The Bihar startup policy, for instance, provides a critical runway for founders with no savings. It offers up to a 10 lakhs interest-free loan, repayable after 10 years.
That's a huge runway.
In that region, it's genuinely transformative. It also adds a 5% grant for women-owned businesses and, importantly, exempts them from a lot of licensing and registration for 5 years. That removes so much friction when you're a solo operator.
And beyond formal capital, you've got social capital. If you don't have an alumni network to call, you have to tap into these digital tribes. Gen Z is prioritizing niche Slack and Discord and Reddit groups for real-time problem solving. It's not about social validation anymore. For you, the listener, the high-value communities are places like Indie Hackers for really transparent case studies, or the RSAS subreddit for anonymous feedback on your tech.
Yeah, those gut checks are crucial.
The strategy is to not build in a vacuum. You find people who have already solved your exact problem, and you can speed up your progress exponentially.
As we start to wrap this up, let's just look at the high watermark for this model again, the acquisition of Base44 by Wix for $80 million.
Built by a solo founder.
A solo founder, no outside funding. It's the benchmark. It shows you can keep a pure product vision and move incredibly fast when you're not burdened by investors or politics. That is the solo advantage.
The big trap to avoid, though, is a lack of judgment. As a solo founder, you have to distinguish between AI as a feature and AI as a core value proposition. The sustainable models are the ones that solve real, sometimes boring problems in huge sectors like agriculture, healthcare, or education, not just flashy AI toys.
And automation, as powerful as it is, doesn't guarantee success. Market failure rates are still high.
Of course.
So you have this non-negotiable need to constantly evaluate your AI agents. You are the ultimate ethical backstop managing privacy concerns like compliance with the Digital Personal Data Protection Act. The accountability still rests with you. And looking forward, this move towards multi-agent systems points to a future where, artificial general intelligence is seen as plausible. The barrier to building has fallen away. The entrepreneur's value is no longer in the how of execution. It's in the what of vision and judgment. So our final thought for you is this. If AI can execute everything, what high-level strategic decision are you uniquely positioned to make? Because that's what's going to separate the winners from everyone else.